So I'm home from my volcano camping trip, which I uploaded a whole bunch of different videos from my granddaughter and I and my daughter-in-law hiking that trail and different things along the way, just different thoughts. And we did a really beautiful chakra healing session there, each particular area in the body, and giving away things that no longer served. Use the tuning fork to kind of bring back some energy and vital force. And then I used one of my wands that has a Lemurian crystal tip. I used it on my forehead and also used my tuning fork simultaneously touching my forehead to both tune right and left sides, because we are magnetic resonance beings. We are part of the vibrations of the planet we live on, which is Earth, which vibrates with us. And many of us, when we become ill, one of the first things that you might be able to easily think of is you're out of tune. And what's really interesting is you run a tuning fork over a body and it'll dull or stop vibrating in areas that are kinked or troubled, and it'll vibrate cleanly in areas that are just fine. So it's interesting. Some areas of the body are different than others when using it on and around the body. But at any rate, while I was up at Volcano, as things often do, and for me, I don't know if it's just part of what I need right now to heal my broken heart as I experience the loss of my partner in a sense. I mean, I feel like maybe we're not losing anything. Maybe we're gaining a better truth about each other, because truthfully, when you're married, a lot of times we're going to continue to be married and we're going to continue to work together. But a lot of times when you're married, your partnership is like a myth, okay? You do this for me, I do that for you. It's these series of agreements and myths, and don't change because I want it to be like this, or change because I don't like anything about you and I want everything about you to change, all of these different things. And really for us, when we moved here, and I really think likely well before that when I got sick, that we started becoming spiritually out of balance with each other, that we just started not representing to each other the level of spiritual truth we needed to. He's always been a Christian and very sensitive about his body and not burning in hell and those kind of things, and that's just a fundamental belief he has. And he, we there's nothing wrong at all with spiritual belief, regardless of how you do it. And I want to say that. But I want to say something else that then occurred to me that was fascinating. I find this notion of 144,000 light workers to be rather annoying. Sounds like we're pandering to another theory I've heard in some other religious group knocking on my door saying there's 144,000 of us. Thank you very much. And do read my pamphlet and start your praying, because you don't want to miss the boat, and I'm thinking to myself, like all of us do, if there's only 144,000, oh my God, I'm a commoner, it's not me. So now I had a download about this, and this was the part that was fascinating. My daughter and I had a big conversation about it, even because there's some things in the Bible that support this download, which was like, what? I mean, I didn't know anything about this. My daughter told me this. So we're driving along, and I tell her that, I think I know what this 144,000 light worker thing is about. I said, it's not 144,000 people. It's 144,000 tribes of people. And that right now we're starting to find our tribes. And there's a story in Babylon that talks about this, where when the languages were mixed up and the only way to go where you belong was to find the tribe that spoke your language. It was just very basic. This is no different. The Bible in some very simple ways still says it. Now the book, the Bible, has been stripped pretty hard. So it's frustrating because we don't really have the truth in the story, because they've allowed it to be snipped here and snipped there. But that's an interesting snippet that like I said, my daughter brought to my attention. And so for those of you who think that we only have 144,000 light workers, I think we're getting it wrong. I think there's 144,000 tribes, different types of energies on this planet. We are a vast and massive universe. And to think we're all one and the same is a rather silly notion. And I have never believed we're alone. Perhaps I've had a few too many experiences that I can just say, oh no, I've had sleep paralysis. I've had even something as funny as little green men when I was a child, so yeah, my environment, my background says, no, there's a little more to it. I used to think it was something like kazoo. That was how I was able to cope with it, because I would watch the Flintstones, and kazoo was a little green man that I saw as somebody that wouldn't harm me. And so this little green man would come into my bedroom at night and didn't harm me at all. But I think that in this sense, I've understood all my life we're not alone. And so, that just being that. But do ponder when you say things as light workers, because I do have to say I find it hurtful when we say, oh, there's only 144,000 of us. No, there's not. That's not true. There's 144,000 tribes, and there might be multiples in one tribe that are light workers. There could be millions in one light worker tribe. So just keep that in mind when you start thinking, because we're coming from limited information. My Pisces Scorpio says, I know how to dig in deep somehow or another and bring out the hysterical information and share it with you. And with that, I do thank you for joining me here today. Please do hit the like, share, and subscribe. And consider joining me over on my YouTube channel, which struggles to get members, not because I don't do a good job, but because, well, my content kind of gets hit a little bit because I say things. I'm a medical astrologer. With that, thank you.